So does this go down as a debacle, fiasco? Is it bad on everybody on Wall Street?
I don't know
that really even care?
I don't know that it's bad on everybody. I mean, I do think it kind of disturbs the typical narrative, right? I mean, it's supposed to come out of the chute and actually make everybody happy. I actually think, though, it really was a mechanical thing in a way. I mean, pricing a deal is a little more art than people give it credit for. And also, people who get access to IPOs, right, the investment managers, are conditioned to ask for like 3 times as much as they actually want to buy.
Right.
If you get a half as much instead of a third as much, it must mean that this is not a hot deal. And it's almost like, you don't want to be a member of the club you were invited to join.
Yeah.
And so that's to me why it happened this way. Plus, I do think the bankers, were looking at the fact that the stock traded in the private, secondary market around where they priced it. I mean, what are you going to do? You're going to price it that much lower. And big mistake, come out with 25% more shares 2 days before the deal.
It's a lot of stock. $16 billion, a lot of stock.
In a bad market.
My theory, for what it's worth, is once that indicative price came up at 42, 43, it was like 43, 42.
Right.
That was just the end of it, because then the sell orders came flooding in.
That's probably true.
Let's talk about the markets here. You wrote in Barron's this weekend a somewhat bullish note. I kind of took it as a little bullish.
Yeah.
Basically saying, like, we've been here before. Things are really, the market would probably react the way it has in the past couple of years, has this kind of sell-off, and then people suddenly realize the world's not ending, and then it comes back. Let's bring up some of the other markets, because my takeaway from the Facebook thing is it actually gave me more faith in the stock market than less, because my view is valuations are attractive right now. It didn't make any sense to me when people are selling off Google and Apple because of Facebook.
Didn't make any sense. Look, I did kind of finish on that coda as well. Like, you'd rather see the hype deal be a dud than be something that people decide is the reason to be jumping into stocks again. And I do think that basically the rest of NASDAQ was used as an ATM to get cash out to buy the Facebook deal. There's no reason, you're right, for that stuff to go the way it did. So yeah, I do think it was another sign that we've gotten a pretty downcast very suddenly, actually, from the April kind of trading environment where it was kind of like nothing could break this market.
And you talked about the Treasury market, which continues to confound the skeptics, including me. For me, I cannot fathom the reasons why we got. Where was the 10 years? 1.7?
About 1.7.
1.7 in a 2% inflationary environment.
Right.
Where corporate profits are very healthy, where the U.S. economy is not, as far as we can tell, in a recession. Explain that to me, Michael Santoli.
Look, I feel like you have to just sort of stop arguing with the Treasury market, because it can kind of do what it's going to do in a world where it doesn't have any AAA paper that's real. It doesn't have, cash that pays you anything, so 1.7 is better than cash. And I just feel as if it's not you and me sitting in a room deciding whether to let the government pay us 1.7 over 10 years or buy stocks. It is, the world is awash in fearful money, and it's going to just stay there for a long time. And I think the other answer is Japan. If Japan is giving us the roadmap for over-indebted developed world economies, then 1.7 is not as low as it's going to go. By the way, Germany's lower.
You don't believe. I know you don't believe we're at all like Japan.
I don't, but I think that enough people can kind of be bracing for it that there you are. To me, the Treasury market won the argument with the stock market that started in March and April, right? Because the Treasury market refused to ratify the stock's new highs. That doesn't mean that Treasury markets are right about the growth outlook. I don't really think it's about the growth outlook.
What should we be looking for in the next couple of months here? I mean, I just, after the Facebook IPO, I think the market's going to settle into this no real news. Yeah, let's wait for Greece to blow up.
Sure.
Maybe it doesn't blow up kind of thing. Is there anything out there that people, then we have the elections coming up.
Right.
That's it, right?
Well, before the elections, I do think the market is going to welcome the distraction of earnings again, but we're over a month away from even that beginning. So that's going to be one thing. To me, it's going to be, these financial stocks. I like to try to get away from the idea that they are the be-and-all bellwether. But to me, it's a matter of they have to find some kind of footing, because right now there's mass doubt that there's any business model they can latch on to. And so that's one thing. In terms of news, no, I still think it's going to be Europe. Here's the thing about Europe, though. I think we're kind of over-anticipating the chaos that might or might not happen, as opposed to last year, where we had a different European Central Bank chairman who we thought might just go down with the inflation war. We got a different guy there now. Last year, we thought a Greek default would send this immediate credit default swap spiral. We're not there. It's not going to happen this time. So I do feel as if, you can halt it before we get to that chaos.